something that we wish to be different, something that we wish we could change, but we cannot change. In the lives of each of us, there is a cross. Whether it's seen or unseen, whether people know about it or don't know about it, there is a cross in your life. Don't tell me there isn't. And the cross can be caused by somebody else, or we may bring a cross on ourselves due to our wrong choices in life. Or sometimes the cross is neither the fault of others nor ourselves, but because of the accidents of life, or simply because we are human and we do not have the perfection of God. And I think for as long as we are in the human body on this earth, we are going to have one cross or another. At first we may deny that we have a cross. Perhaps we do not want to face the pain of the cross, so we pretend. We pretend that everything is fine, that everything is okay. We have no cross. How you doing? I'm fine. I'm doing great. I'm okay. We have no cross. But one of the mysteries of life is that a grace awaits us if we carry our cross, just as resurrection awaited Jesus after he died. If we deny our cross, we are losing out on the grace that God has planned to give us. After we move beyond denying our cross and admit that we have a cross, we may experience anger. We ask the question, why? Why me? Why bad things happen to good people? I didn't deserve this. Why did God allow this to happen to me? Why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to suffer this? And you know what? It's a natural reaction. And I think we all have been through that. At this stage of coping with our cross, we may be angry with others, or even angry with God. It is easy to blame God when we cannot understand why we are in pain. But see, God did not cause your cross. And blaming God is making an unjust accusation against God. Blaming others who are innocent is also unjust. And surely blaming God for some trouble is because we are afraid to face the pain of the real cause of the problem. So we need to get to the real root of the problem or cross. For some people, this type of inner work and healing needs therapy and counseling, and many people do that, and it's good. But look at the life of Jesus. Do we ever see Jesus blaming his Heavenly Father for his cross? No. Jesus is not complaining that he has to carry the cross. The Heavenly Father did not kill his Son. It was Roman soldiers who scourged him, who spat upon him, who crowned him and crucified him. It wasn't God. The Heavenly Father did not give them the orders to do that. The orders came from Pilate, even though Pilate knew that Jesus was innocent. But the blame doesn't lie totally only with Pilate. We know what happened. Some of the Jewish leaders made false accusations against Jesus before Pilate. So in the life of Jesus, we do not see Jesus blaming the Father for his cross, and in fact we see there's a whole group of people who paved the way for Jesus' cross. When we have a cross, Instead of blaming God, let us get to the root of the problem. Blaming God for the problems of the world is only passing the buck instead of facing up to our own culpability for what has gone wrong. And I know that no one has yet come up with an adequate answer to explain the mystery of human suffering. All we have are bits and pieces of few answers here and few answers there. After admitting the pain and accepting that there is a painful situation, some people make bargains with God, such as, God, if you get me out of this, I will be such a generous person that Mother Teresa was nothing. I will be the most generous person. Just get me out of this. Or they make similar bargains. God, if you get me out of this, I will make a pilgrimage. I will go to the Holy Land. Or I will go to here and there, to Fatima. I will go to Lourdes. I will go somewhere else. People sometimes make those bargains. And indeed, going on that pilgrimage or becoming a generous person is indeed a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful grace. And sometimes it takes a cross to prepare our souls to receive God's grace. After feeling anger towards God or others previously, it is possible later to experience anger with oneself because of one's cross. And anger turned in towards ourselves is sometimes called depression. But when we move beyond anger with ourselves or depression because of our cross, we arrived at where it was meant to lead us all the time. We arrive at the moment of grace, and we accept and cherish a grace in the plan of God for us because of our cross. And one of the mysteries of life is that a grace accompanies every cross, or we will receive a grace if we carry our cross. Jesus would not have risen from the dead if he did not die on the cross. And we are running away from a grace that awaits us if we are running away from our crosses. Any cross is painful. But with prayer, with persistence, with the help of the other people, we can carry our crosses, and we need to pray a lot, especially if we have a heavy cross. Jesus, on the night before he died, suffered in agony in the garden in Gethsemane, and he was praying to God. He said, Father, if it is your will, let this cup pass me by. But not my will, but yours be done. Not my will, but yours be done. Sometimes we also say, let this cup pass me by. Take this suffering away from me. But grace awaits us if we can say, but not my will, but yours be done. For as long as we are trying to fulfill God's will in our lives, we are okay. If the cross is particularly heavy, we may be a long time waiting for the grace because we may get stuck for a while in one of those stages we go through after a cross. But the grace will certainly follow if we work our way through all the thoughts that go on inside us and arrive at acceptance. Perhaps we could describe receiving the grace after the cross as a healing. After the cross comes new life, resurrection, grace, and thanksgiving. So we can say, thanks be to God, I have come through it. We know we are healed, and we know we have received the grace only when we can say, thanks be to God. The particular grace we receive is often in proportion to our cross. If we know the pain of being hurt by others, we end up being more sensitive to others, not wishing to impose hurt and injury on others ourselves. There is a saying, a trouble shared is half a trouble. A trouble shared is half a trouble. If we are a caring Christian community, we should be helping each other to carry our crosses. If we are not helping each other to carry our crosses, we are not a caring Christian community. There is something holy about our crosses. Something holy about the cross that we have. It keeps us close to God. I personally know one person who has been through a lot with her suffering, and I see how this person is growing in her relationship with God because of the pain that she's experiencing. When there is some pain in our lives, when we have to carry a cross, we depend more on God. We turn more often to God. I think it's part of God's mysterious plan that we carry a cross because it keeps us close to God. Let's remember Jesus' words, who said in today's Gospel, "Whoever does not take up his cross and follow me is not worthy of me." In another place, Jesus also said, "If anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and that of the gospel will save it."